Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. These are the words of Paul to the church in Colossae, and these are not just 2,000-year-old words for one particular church. They are words and instructions for all people who would follow Jesus. You and I in Artesia, America, or wherever you are today, if you follow Jesus, you are commanded and called to forgive anyone who offends you. Why? Because you offended Jesus and he forgave you. We are to pass that on. This is a challenging and difficult scripture to obey, and some of us never ever get it right, and we struggle with resentment and anger and bitterness our whole life. So it's important for you that you get this right. It's not important for the other person, it's important for you. So let's talk about what forgiveness is exactly. Jesus told a story, we talked about it yesterday, about a king who was collecting all of his debts. Everybody who owed him something had to stand before him. And one of his servants owed him millions of dollars, but the servant begged for mercy, and so the king canceled the debt. He forgave the debt. To forgive is to cancel a debt. And we're probably pretty easy at understanding, it's probably pretty easy to understand this, and we're pretty good at getting this first part right. So when you think about forgiving, if somebody has offended you, the first step in forgiving is to determine what they owe you. And we're pretty good at this. This comes pretty naturally. If somebody offends you, the first thing you have to do to start the forgiveness process is determine exactly what they owe you. You've offended me, you owe me an apology. You stole from me, you owe me the money. You took away my childhood, you owe me years of my life. There are so many things and ways that you can be offended. We could talk about them for days. But you know how you've been offended, and you know what they owe you. You've probably determined that. As soon as they call and forgive, as soon as they start respecting, as soon as they do something, then I will forgive them and set them free. But it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. So the first thing you have to do is to determine what they owe you, whatever it is, and then choose to cancel the debt. You will forgive them whether they ever pay you back or not. You will forgive them whether they ever apologize or not. You will forgive them whether anything is restored to you or not. And what you're going to find out is it's not so much about them, it's about you. Because when we choose not to forgive, it's like drinking poison and hoping it kills the person who offended us. What really happens is we start to rot on the inside. So forgiveness is the best thing you can do for you when you're offended. The temptation or the pushback is always, yeah, but they'll just get away with it. Yeah, they will. Yeah, but they need to pay. They need to learn their lesson. Yeah, they do. And to forgive is to acknowledge that it is God who will ultimately make them pay. And it is God who will ultimately teach them that lesson. The best thing for you to do is to forgive, and it sets you free. That's the cool thing about forgiveness, is you set a prisoner free, and then you find out that the prisoner was you. Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Bye.